Welcome, I'm the Legendary PokéMaster, and here we are again to try to solve one of those questions that can't really be solved. Which of the fully evolved Kanto starters is best? Basically, since they're in kind of a rock, paper, scissors thing, we are going to be comparing them in a bunch of categories to find out which excels in each. And then we'll just take the majority. So without further ado, let's start. Before I start, I'd like to say how I'm organizing this. Since water, fire, and grass types are always in a never-ending cycle of type advantages, this video will be more focused about which of these three is the strongest rather than a theoretical three-way battle. This would let us determine which is most likely to win in a battle like that. With that said, there are 5 categories up ahead, and the winner of each will get 3 points, the second place will get 2, and the third place will get 1. That lets us tally some points. So let's begin with that. In terms of stats for the 3, there's little comparison, and the difference between them shouldn't really be making a difference. Venusaur comes in with the lowest base stat total of 525, Blastoise is second with 530, and Charizard has kind of an odd 534. Despite Charizard having the highest stats overall, it's probably the least balanced of the 3, mainly focusing on special attack and speed, while severely falling behind in things like HP. Venusaur, on the other hand, has probably the most balanced stats. How I determined this is that I looked at it in a certain way. It seems that all 3 of these guys focus on 2 things in particular, Charizard specializing in, like I said, special attack and speed, Blastoise in defense and special defense, and Venusaur in special attack and special defense. Out of these, Venusaur leans the least on specializations, having 100 and 100 opposed to 100 and 105 with Blastoise, and 109 and 100 with Charizard. This allows the points to be more evenly spread out, causing Venusaur to be more balanced. Despite this though, Charizard out of the 3 probably has the best stats to go with its moves. And considering that it has the highest base stat total of the 3, I'd call it a narrow victory here for Charizard over Venusaur, with Blastoise last because it takes a lot away from the attack.
Now extracting scores from the meme realm.
These guys have 2 types, and this guy doesn't. However, water type is pretty great. Of the 3, Blastoise has the least weaknesses, which allows it to withstand a lot, and pairs with its defensive stats well. However, Venusaur and Charizard have added typings, those being poison and flying, respectively. This allows for a minuscule amount of new moves for Venusaur, and a slightly bigger amount for Charizard. Also, Charizard has a lot of resistances, but its 3 weaknesses don't really go well with the fact that its defenses are pretty low. That said, I'd give this category to Blastoise for playing it safe, with Charizard second and Venusaur third.
Now extracting scores from the meme realm.
The only game I'd be talking about with these guys is Kanto because, well, that's where they're from. Also, I'll be talking about their pre-evolutions because you need to start this good somewhere. The first guy you want to kill in red and blue is Brock. He's pretty decent and has rock-type Pokemon. That said, Charmander is terrible for this battle, and Bulbasaur or Squirtle would be OP. The next fight will be even harder for Charmander because it's water. Squirtle would have a hard time too, but Bulbasaur would still be going good. Next is Mr. Surge here. He's electric, and Squirtle, who is probably Wartortle by this time, wouldn't be too viable, with Bulbasaur being for the 3rd time in a row the best pick for a resistance to electric. Charmeleon is best for Erica, while the others have trouble. Koga is good to take on with anything but Wartortle or Blastoise. Sabrina is good with anyone, Blaine is only really good with Blastoise, and Giovanni's weak to the same stuff as Brock. With that said, Venusaur is useful in 5 gyms, and considering most of them are early on, I'd give it to him. Blastoise is probably next with 3 advantages, and Charizard is last.
Extracting. Click.
You know Charizard wins. But Austin, that's bias! Shut up. The reason Charizard wins is that it has 2 Mega Evolutions versus 1 for each of these guys. Mega Charizard Y provides a really good stat boost actually that helps out with moves, while Mega X just kinda looks cool. It gives you more variety while still providing an effective boost with Y, hence being number 1. But let's face off for the number 2 slot now. When we look at stats, Mega Blastoise and Mega Venusaur kinda look like different versions of the same thing. The same stats are prominent for each, it's just that Blastoise has higher things for the most part. Mega Blastoise falls behind in special defense and speed, which aren't really essential anyway due to a smaller amount of weaknesses. With that said, I'd say Blastoise is number 2, with Venusaur coming in last.
Now extracting memes from the scores.
This is what it all comes down to. Moves! So let's start that. First to Blastoise. Of the 3, he learns the least moves while leveling up and has little variation. Most are just water-type special attacks aside from things that boost defense, which already is at the point where it doesn't need to be boosted really. For this reason, I would place it 3rd. Next is Venusaur. It learns more moves from leveling up than Blastoise, but most of them are just status effectors. The rest are mostly physical, which by far is the lesser of Venusaur's 2 attack stats. Thus, decisively, Charizard is the winner of this category. It has a lot more variation of moves, probably because of the design, to be honest. It also has the largest amount of moves that it learns while leveling up, and basically has all the same TM moves with some added. That said, with 3 of the 5 categories, it seems like Charizard is the strongest of this group of starters. I was actually looking for Venusaur to win, but what the heck. However, naturally these Pokemon can be trained differently, so what do you think? Which of these 3 fully evolved Kanto starters is the strongest? Please leave a comment down below. I'd also like to shout out Sphinx for helping me create this video, and my friend Shadakin for making both this awesome logo and this awesome thumbnail. Both of the links for their channels will be in the description and this iCard, and I highly suggest that you check them out. You can also subscribe to see videos like this twice a week. Regardless, I am back, and I will see you in the next video.